So for the hell of it, I just decided, hey, how about I do a vid talking about how I'd undo one more day? How would I go about, if I ever worked at Marvel, what would be the story if they could allow me to undo one more day and get the marriage back together? Now, I've seen a lot of videos of this, and it's just like, boom, they're just back together. That's kind of what it essentially is. But I wanted to do it, if I could actually undo what One More Day did to Peter and MJ's marriage, I don't think I'd go just, boom, they're back together, MacGuffin it. So, I actually put a little thought I put some thought into how I would do this. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys right now. I'm going to be straight with you guys. I wouldn't have it be they're instantly back to being married again. Wait, hold on. Just hear me out. So the story is that this would involve Doctor Strange, and it would be more of a supernatural story. And it would more or less be that Doctor Strange has uncovered some information from Mephisto's realm. He's uncovered this information that Spider-Man was once in love with this great woman, and it's one of the greatest things it's one of the greatest tricks Mephisto's ever played, and it's one of his Mephisto calls it one of his greatest victories. And Doctor Strange goes to Spider-Man like, hey, look, Spider-Man, I got some dirt about Mephisto, that he had dirt on you. What's that all about? And Spider-Man's like, I don't know, dude. It's kind of weird. It's just, what's that all about? And to which Strange is like, dude, did you make a deal with Mephisto? And he's like, I can't remember. Man, I can't even remember. So Strange and Spider-Man team up to essentially try to figure out what Mephisto's whole thing is. We obviously know he took the marriage. And as it turns out, Strange is like telling him, like, yeah, Mephisto took your marriage to this woman, and I guess undid a timeline. So, what were you thinking? What were you thinking, Peter? And Spider-Man's like, well, I was trying to save my aunt, and Mephisto was the only person who could really help me. So, and you were the people I went to, and you couldn't get a bullet out. And he's like, no, I never did that. I never met, I was in the dark dimension fighting an army of mindless ones when your aunt got, when that happened. I would have it that, yeah, they've kind of uncovered that, yeah, they've uncovered this period of time where everyone knew Spider-Man's identity, so they would be like, so as they're uncovering this, they're like, yeah, I remember, Strange is like, yeah, I remember this, and I wasn't there. I wasn't in the Sanctum Sanctorum. I was in the Dark Dimension fighting. I remember that day because I was in the Dark Dimension fighting the mindless ones and keeping them from escaping, or some shit like that. And it turns out that every person that Spider-Man went to save Aunt May's life and rejected him was more or less either manipulated or impersonated by Mephisto. Like, again, Mephisto impersonated Doctor Strange. He created this illusion to make it look like he had entered the Sanctum Sanctorum and made his own sanctum. For Tony, he actually, he altered Tony's mind. And for Doom, when Spider-Man went to Doom, because, yeah, he actually went to Doom, he actually kind of made this lie of, you do this for me, if you screw Spider-Man out of saving his aunt, I might let you see your mom, because she's still in my possession. So, do that for me. And I'll let you, not have, but see your mom, once a month, I will let you come to my realm, and you can hang out with your mom for like an hour or two. That sound good? Sound good. Do it. So, that was the idea that, Mephisto essentially just manipulated the whole situation. Because, honestly, that's some of the dumbest shit I had ever read of no one like Stark or Richards or, Doctor Doom or Doctor Strange could, save this woman's life from being shot after being shot. Come on, guys. Some of Doom, you can literally repair damaged tissue. Shouldn't be that hard. So I thought of it that that Mephisto did all this. And now you're probably thinking, well, DPZ, why would Mephisto go through all this trouble to have it? I'm glad you asked. Because Mephisto just does stuff. Mephisto just loves corrupting the innocent. And there was nothing more innocent to him than Peter Parker and Mary Jane's marriage. To him, that was like a moral victory. That was like I won and defeated this little guy who had so much shit in his life but kept going because he had the hope and love of his wife. If I can take that away from him and make him have a deal with me, and it hurts him, I win. And you're probably thinking, well, that sounds really petty. Also, glad you asked. But that's the thing. Mephisto's a really petty person. He will do shit for the fun of it. Because, a perfect example is a miniseries way back in the 80s called Mephisto Versus. And he did this whole convoluted thing where he took on the Fantastic Four, X-Factor, X-Men, and the Avengers in this convoluted scheme to more or less give the middle finger to the Living Tribunal. And just for a laugh. That's all it was. He took on the 4 biggest teams in the Marvel Universe in the 80s just for shits and giggles. So the fact that he will just, it doesn't stand to, well, actually, it stands to reason that he would be willing to actually do horrible shit to one person who's not even a villain of his, like an enemy of his, just to damage somebody. Because that's what, he totes himself as a demon, and that's what demons do. They corrupt the innocent, they make them, pretty much essentially damn themselves. And everything that has happened is all part of Mephisto's big scheme, because I actually would tie in the Mephisto cameo in the first arc of Spider-Man Deadpool, where Mephisto showed up and said, you're never going to be happy, you're always going to be full of misery and stuff. And I would have it that a lot of the stuff that happened since then was because of Mephisto's deal. He pretty much was like, yeah, I saved your aunt, I didn't say that you were going to have a happy life. Again, that would be something Mephisto would do. So this whole time Mephisto was just dicking with his life, with Peter's life, on the sole ground of, I'm just having fun. And you're a little, pardon the pun, a little insect that I enjoy pulling the legs off of every now and again. Yeah, that would be totally Mephisto's game. So, I would have it that Spider-Man alongside Doctor Strange have found a way to reverse kind of undo the damage that Mephisto did, and Peter goes to MJ and he's like, look, I could blame Mephisto, and I blame, it is Mephisto, there is a lot of problem with Mephisto, but I'm the one who was stupid enough to just be like, hey, I'm going to undo this marriage we had and fuck everything. And I would actually leave it open they wouldn't be like, oh, I love you, let's get back together. It'd be more like, no, let's start over. And that's what I would do if I had an actual Spider-Man run. This would, excuse me, this would be my start to a Spider-Man run, but I would also, it's Peter and Spider-Man, it's Peter and Spider-Man, they're one and the same, come on, goddammit. Peter and MJ, essentially growing their relationship back. It's them starting from the ground up. And kind of like, should we even keep doing it? Do we want to be back together? It's been so long. What the hell were we thinking the first time around? But we're going to give it a shot, because if anything, we're willing to give this another chance. So I wouldn't have it like, boom, they're just married again. I would have it that they are, throughout, if I could do a Spider-Man run, this would be the crux of it. This would be the crux of this run, is that they're slowly getting back together. They're slowly getting used to one another and being together, being as a couple again. And eventually, yeah, they would get married, but it would be that, yeah, they would have to, get used to one another, and have some ups and downs, as with all marriages, or remarriages, I should say. So that's how, that's kind of how I would have, that's how I would undo One More Day. So, you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think of this idea? Do you guys like it? Do you guys hate it? And how would you undo One More Day? Just comment below, let me know, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I'm out.